more schools are getting together in networks and collaborations. The DFES have funded 37 pilot federations, tapping into this grassroots desire to work in more meaningful partnerships. Can this collaborative approach raise leadership standards and address school improvement issues? Federations come in many shapes and sizes, but there are three basic types. In Kent, the Invicta Valley Park Hard Federation consists of 2 schools with 1 executive head, 2 heads of school and 1 governing body.
So I am the coach and the mentor to the heads of school, and that I think is a very important role, such that they are being able to be introduced to headship, but without all the external factors, but to concentrate on how to run a school.
In Berkshire, 6 schools have formed a soft federation. Without an executive head, it's a band of equals working together to save money and to create a system for the children in their schools with challenging behaviour.
That should add up to the same, and that should add up.
So all the way around?
All the way round, yeah, and that goes for all the squares.
The question really was, did we want to do the Slough advert as well? £3,000 is a lot of money. I think we share common values about what we think is important for young people and actually what we want to achieve for the young people in our individual schools. And because we've got those shared values, I think that really helps us to work together collaboratively and to trust each other.
And in Essex, the federation spans both phases.
It doesn't matter whether those 30 year sixes are in a very large primary school or they're in a small primary school. As far as those children are concerned with their teacher, it's the same set of issues.
Well, in very simple terms, a system leader is somebody who cares about their own school, obviously, but also cares about other schools in the system. So is prepared to invest some of their professional energy and good humour in actually helping to develop the system as a whole, as well as their own individual school.
Each federation is a response to the needs of that area, building on the leadership talent already there. In Kent, Sue Glanville has led Invicta Grammar School from strength to strength. She is just the type of experienced leader needed to head a hard federation.
Well, I've done this for 13 years. Every Monday morning I come in and I cut the flowers for my office. They usually last the week, and at the same time I do the deadheading. And I just think it keeps the front of the school looking nice. I like doing the flowers, and you know, it's a bit like looking at students, isn't it? You're looking at a lovely bloom, and that's what you're hoping for.
But not every child in Kent was getting the opportunity to flourish. Just next door at Valley Park High, things were very different.
Well, in July 2003, Valley Park was designated as a school in challenging circumstances, and it didn't have a head teacher. And the deputy who was appointed acting head teacher was relatively inexperienced, and so the local authority asked me as an experienced head, would I help him in 1 or 2 specific activities.
The initial helping hand across the fence evolved into a hard federation when Sue Glanville was promoted to executive head of both schools. And 2 experienced deputies took on the newly created distributed leadership roles of head of school, in charge of the day-to-day internal running of each school. Mike Liddicote stepped in at Sue's old school, and Vic Ashdown took the helm at Valley Park.
The statement on the slide here behind me was given to us as a school by the Student Council. A better, brighter school. Because when HMI came to the school in 2004, just before I'd arrived, we had an inspection. And what they found was really very encouraging. They found that the quality of the teaching was, as you can see there, good or very good in over half the lessons. They praised your attitudes. Can I say that every single day that I've come into this school, I've felt those comments. You don't measure schools, you feel them.
So a hard federation consists of a small number of schools, often started to fill a leadership gap or solve a school improvement crisis. It usually relies on a strong executive head. In Maidenhead, 6 schools with 6 leaders formed a soft federation. It's a group of peers without an executive head. They have a formal agreement and understanding to work together, with shared responsibilities and accountabilities to raise standards.
Now, I know there are some federations that work on the one extreme where a head teacher takes over a notionally failing school and runs 2 of them. That isn't what our federation is about. Our federation does reflect the fact that we think that schools cooperatively can do much better.
The purpose of the federation really was for us to work equally and cooperatively on a range of issues, but mostly centring around helping improve pupil behaviour, cutting down on the number of exclusions that we had, and working together in order to do that.
The unique situation in Maidenhead meant there was a shared need to provide a better structure for children in their schools with challenging behaviour.
So all the way around?
The Federation spent their start-up funding on a concrete practical solution. Each school now has a learning assistant who accompanies excluded pupils to another school in the Federation. Children with challenging behaviour are not just sent home to stew, but have one-to-one support in a different learning environment.
Do you know why you're here today, Zara?
Because I got in trouble.
And you've got to spend the day with me now, haven't you?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, being at another school and not being with your friends?
I don't like it.
No?
No, I like being with my friends.
Okay. And what about the work?
It's a lot more boring than it would actually be in class.
If you need a calculator, there is one, but you should really be able to do that in your head. I work quite closely with the other Federation learning assistants. Obviously, we have to liaise on schools that we're going to send our students to, and we rely on the other Federation learning assistants for support during the day. It's important to meet and share ideas.
Together, they have found a solution to a failure of the education system in their area.
Where groups of heads are getting together in collaborative arrangements, call them federations, call them collegiates, call them what you will, but they're getting together because they know that if they work collaboratively, they can provide a much better standard of education for the young people in that area. That, to me, is what system leadership is all about.
Back in Kent, Executive Head Sue is on her way to Valley Park High.
It's been one of the normal days today, but this will be the 4th time I've walked to Valley Park today. And as I said, sometimes I walk here 2 or 3 times, sometimes once. Sometimes I'm in neither school because I'm in London, say. So, but it's a familiar path, this.
Executive headship isn't a desk job. Sue takes the external pressures of headship off the shoulders of the 2 heads of school. Sue is off to a meeting at County Hall. She has no problem leaving Vic and Mike to the day-to-day running of their respective schools.
This is a perfect example of 2 people who are destined for headship, who have a lot of headship responsibilities, yet at the same time have me to refer to. My role is strategic planning, but they can work with me, and it's an opportunity for them to have a taste of headship, but yet have someone to consult with.
So walking around this school, everyone views me as the head. They understand the structure, but I am the head. I've got a lot of colleagues who are head teachers in what one would see as more traditional roles, and they are naturally drawn away for sometimes days upon end to either the LEA or national conferences, and they, I wouldn't say lose touch, but certainly don't have a daily presence in school.
In Maidenhead, Tracy is running around feeling the pressure of being a head teacher. She doesn't have an executive head taking strategic responsibility for her school. Her federation tackles leadership improvement in a different way. She's off to another school in the federation for a peer coaching session with fellow head teacher Ian.
I've only been a head teacher for 2 years. I'm just coming to the end of my 2nd year in post, and I think that The role of being a head teacher can be quite an isolated one, and because of the work that we've done with the Federation, we've had, well, as a new head, I've had opportunities to meet and talk with other head teachers and really benefit from their experience and benefit from the fact that a lot of the issues that I'm facing in my school, they are also facing in their schools.
Their collaboration has wider implications. They are thinking in a system leadership way about education provision beyond their own school gates.
I think the image of system leadership is where heads are supporting each other, that we're creating learning environments where, and this is where distributed leadership is important, that people increasingly do take on leadership roles, that they become mutually supportive rather than having somebody in a special role to support you.
Tracy has joined fellow Federation head Ian in a lesson observation at his school. It's on-the-job CPD for both of them, and a chance for Tracy to see some teaching and learning in another school.
What's most important is sticking to the plan. If your PowerPoint plan said it was going to look like this, there was going to be a tear or strip there, a hologram here, a hologram there, you need to try and keep as true to your design as you can.
Things I liked about it, he had a very clear plan. The kids gained a lot of confidence because of that. I particularly liked his Walton Wolf on the board at the start.
Yeah, I put those down as well. I hadn't seen those before, actually.
Particularly keen on his assessment criteria on the board, which he left up. That was really handy.
Yeah, he did.
You see those levels on the board?
Yeah.
Where are you?
I think about 11.5.
Quite often when you go around and talk to kids, some of them will have an idea about what they should be doing to attain a certain level, but a lot of them did, I thought. You know, if you said, what level's your ticket going to get? Will it be a 4 or they knew, and then quite a lot of them knew why. Before you made a ticket, what did you do in ICT before that?
I think we was just, because it was a new programme, we was just testing it out and seeing how it would work.
So this new fireworks programme?
Yeah.
So that's a new one into school, is it? It was interesting for me to see that programme, because we don't have that programme in our school. So, you know, it was interesting to see that, I think.
Send your people
Fireworks.
over. So in terms of criteria, if we have to make a judgment on the quality of the lesson,
yes.
My sort of gut feeling on that is that it's a very solid good.
Yeah.
Or a 2.
Yeah, I've got it as a 2. I mean, I think I would say it was a strong 2. Might have it, you know, if we were breaking it up, I'd put it as a 2+. I'd put it at the top end of that. I didn't think it quite made outstanding for me. I'd have wanted to see more input from the kids, I think, if we were going to go for an outstanding.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Please say thanks to Dan.
I will.
Much appreciated. And I'll see you later in the week.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Yeah,
thanks.
it's tomorrow, isn't it, Windsor?
It is, isn't it, already?
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Ian.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ian. Bye, Tracy.
In Kent, Executive Head Sue has arrived at County Hall to update the local authority on the Federation's progress. The Invicta Valley Park Federation now has a single governing body formed with a mix of governors from each school.
It took a lot longer than I think we'd initially anticipated, because with governors not being as involved on a daily basis with the schools, coming to terms with a huge change such as this was an immense challenge. But after we started talking together and meeting together on a regular basis, it broke down a lot of the barriers that had originally been there. And one started thinking in terms of the whole site rather than the individual schools.